not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Riddle's here. Apparently, Bikes and Bullets is here, but I didn't see the comment. Apparently, Riddle did, though. So, what's up, Bikes? How you doing? Well, today's been fun. We're trying our hand at a butter recipe again. Hopefully, this time I won't have wasted like a whole bunch of money. All right. A lot of things have happened. Over the weekend, I was thinking about having a special evening catch-up on Saturday. I ended up not doing it. Things come up. But the Arizona audit has been, I guess, done, right? And there are conflicting reports. We will be reading both sides of the story because I do want to kind of keep it balanced. I want to see what the other side has to say about it because Riddle had shared a story with me originally when it first came out, and it was an Arizona news article, and didn't agree with the findings. So I'm kind of curious where that goes. Also, tomorrow will be the last evening catch-up for a little while, probably about 2 weeks, as I am going out of town, as y'all should know. Or if you're new here, you wouldn't know that. So if you're new here, welcome. I won't be back on for like 2 weeks. Because we're going to be going and doing some fun stuff. I'm going to be going and do some fun stuff. Riddle's going to be here. In fact, she will be doing at least the Bible Patriot chat. Maybe she might be persuaded to do an evening catch-up if she feels up to it. But I'm not asking her. But it's the same setup. So I think if she wanted to do either one, she could do that. All right, I hope everything's going well with you all. How's your day going, Bikes and Bullets? Hopefully well. I am going to do this one, but I don't think I'm going to do it right away. Let's get straight to the Arizona result. Okay, so here is the Trump fan side, right? This is going to definitely be the conservative viewpoint. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to start off with the non-conservative. Broken Patriots in. All right. Arizona Central. This is a news organization. This one, not leaning at least conservative that I know of. Irresponsible and dangerous. Maricopa County responds to questions raised in the Arizona audit. Maricopa County's response to the cascade of claims made against its election protocols hasn't changed in the 11 months its work has been under fire. The issue raised are almost always based on the contractor's lack of knowledge and not problems with the system, officials say. So they're already saying that cyber ninjas sees discrepancies where it's actually not discrepancies because they're not officials, and they don't have a knowledge of how it works. County officials responded on Twitter to many of the claims as the Cyber Ninja CEO and other Arizona Senate contractors presented findings Friday from their review of the county's 2020 election. Duplicate images of ballot envelopes. That was a question raised. That's normal, the county said. Voters who sent in ballots from a prior address, in many instances, this is completely legal, the county said. More ballots cast than voters. There's a reason some voters don't show up in the files, the county said. I would like to know what those reasons are. They didn't really go into it, did they? Oh, there's reasons. What are those reasons? I'm not going to tell you about it. Machines that were connected to the internet, those aren't part of the election system, the county said. Can you prove that? The cyber ninja's opinions come from a misuse and a misunderstanding of the data provided by the county and are twisted to fit the narrative that something went wrong. County Board Chairman Jack Sellers said in a statement shortly after the 3-hour presentation ended. Sellers said the Senate leaders provided Cyber Ninjas and its other contractors a platform to present their opinions, suspicions, and faulty conclusions unquestioned and unchallenged. The hearing was irresponsible and dangerous, he said. The Senate contractors have said that the county's refusal to provide materials and answer questions made it difficult to draw conclusions. The county has reiterated it was not going to participate in an activity it believes was run by unqualified actors with an agenda. Obviously. They might have one too. Elections aren't perfect, and county election officials have said they are committed to improving the system, but the audit did not claim to find the problems that many supporters believed occurred. Can we finally put this past us? The contractors presented their findings in a live-streamed hearing before Senate President Karen Fann from Prescott and Senate Judiciary Chairman Warren Peterson from Gilbert, the two senators who issued the subpoenas to obtain county ballots, voting machines, and other election materials and launched the audit. They treaded lightly on the actual recount, which confirmed that President Joe Biden won the county. Good for him. Instead, the contractors, though, focused on issues they said raised questions about the election process and voter integrity, offering few conclusions of their own. Okay. Afterward, the county recorder Stephen Richards said he was thinking, what was the whole point of this? The Republican reporter, the Republican recorder elected in November said he struggled to come up with ways the results would help him improve elections, even though fans said that this was the point of the audit. And Richard was angry that the contractors would accuse workers of illegal activity. Here's the county's response to some of the main claims. Did Maricopa County count 17,000 duplicate ballots? Analysis by Shiva, not even going to pronounce it, Dr. Shiva, as she is known to the far right adherents, found what he called 17,322 duplicate ballot envelope images in the county's files. These were different images of the same envelope with the same voter ID. Just because there are multiple images of the same envelope does not mean that the county counted the ballot inside more than once. They said that they didn't recount the votes. I'm pretty sure they did in the Arizona State Fair Coliseum. That's why they rented it out for so long, was they were recounting it, as far as I knew. Sometimes there is more than one image of the same ballot envelope because if there are issues with the original signature, the county takes an image of the same envelope multiple times as workers attempt to get a valid signature from the voter. That doesn't seem... I'm not a voting official. I have no idea, but it seemed... What? You're going to take multiple pictures of the envelope with the signature on it? Why do you need multiples? Couldn't you just take one really nice picture and maybe like put it in a couple places, but it's the same picture? Because I would imagine if it's just the same picture, there's a file, right? And you could tell, there's plenty of ways to tell forensically if an image is the same exact image as another image. So I don't see why you couldn't just copy the one image multiple times and put it in whatever file you need to put it in. I don't know why you would have to take multiple photos of it. That's a question I have. For example, if there's a blank signature, then that shouldn't be counted in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. The county takes an image of the envelope before contacting the voter to attempt to get a signature. If the voter then signs the envelope, the county takes another photo. Okay, that's 2 photos, one before, one after. Because the Senate subpoena asked for all envelope images, the county provided the Senate with all of the images, even those that did not have final signatures. The county said it only counts the ballots inside once there is a valid signature. Okay, so if they say that there was a whole bunch of multiples, that is a good explanation. I think so. I think that's a good explanation. What's up, Broken Patriot? AZ Central is, yeah, I know. But we're going to read both sides. My day went great. Thank you. You're welcome. Just finished installing ignition pulse. I don't even know what that is. Is that a diesel ignition? I don't even know. Need to wait 24 hours for the silicone to dry if my repair worked. Wow. You had a better day than I did. As I work today, I listened to the Morning Muster. Interesting take on some YouTube channels. I have no idea, bro. I stay out of that drama. If somebody else wants to go with that, I mean, I don't care for RTT, Resist the Tyranny, right? That's the guy, right? Resist the Tyranny. I guess he changed it to RTT now. But I never really cared for him. And he was on what was it? He was on the Dragon quite a few times, and he just kind of seemed like a dick. I did nothing against him. But you can kind of tell if you're going to be good friends with somebody by the way they talk and the way they act. And I just like, he's all right. And then we had a falling out later on because of a green dragon, and I never really talked to him after that. He's in Tucson though, but other than that, I don't really give a shit. Oh, what was the other one? CRS Firearms. I just explained how he got famous. It's always a great feeling to know a client is satisfied. Hell yeah. Deleting files from within the voting machines was a tell. The ballots are PSYOP. Always was from the outset. Yet folks still focus on the yeah. Maybe. I looked into it a little bit. Apparently, they send the unsigned envelope back to the voter, and each time they receive it back, they photograph it to verify the state of the signature. How many times do they have to send it back in to get their signature correct? I would imagine, layman terms, you take a picture of an unsigned envelope, you take a picture of a signed envelope. You might even take a picture of them signing it. Okay. Did the county intentionally delete files from its election system? Ben Cotton, the CEO of Cypher, a Cyber Ninjas subcontractor, gave several examples of instances he believes the county deleted files from its election management system. Once again, this may be part of a normal process, Cotton said, but the timing of this becomes a bit suspect. CEO Doug Logan, too, said the county employee purged election results from the election management system. Some individuals went into an application and chose to run something that would clear all records in the system that was used, he said, the day before an audit started. That's highly suspicious. That is extremely highly suspicious. The day before the audit? I mean, you knew it was happening. It wasn't a surprise audit. County officials say the election management system was not purged and files were not deleted. The county archives items for space purposes and has archived everything from the November election on backup drives. Well, that makes me feel better. The Senate did not subpoena the county's archived data. Election Department spokesman Megan Gilbertson said the county reiterated on Twitter that it strongly denies claims that the Maricopa vote staff intentionally deleted data. So that was their answer to that. Wasn't a great answer. Hey, did you delete files the day before the audit was about to start? Maybe. Did the county count mail-in ballots with no signature? Shiva said his review found thousands of mail-in ballot envelopes with missing signatures, scribbles, and even some duplicates that might have been counted. But that person only studied the area directly around the signature line when doing his general analysis to see whether a signature was blank. Many voters signed in other places on the envelope, according to Gilbertson. Well, that's where you'd see the photo, I would imagine. The county has reiterated numerous times that it did not reduce its multi-step signature verification process, even though fans said people who observed the county's process in November told Senate leaders that it did. So, poll watchers. I trust poll watchers. They seem like they're pretty upstanding people usually. They actually give a shit. And even I don't know about the other ones, but I know a lot of, not all. In fact, just let me forget that. Forget what I was saying. Suspicious, yeah. It's a violation. Yeah, it might be. I'm not an expert. Did thousands of voters mail in ballots from prior addresses? I don't really care about that too much. If you moved, right? That's not a big one. Did the county count more ballots than voters sent in and more votes than voted? There's a good one. Cyber Ninjas questioned why a certain file that tracks the number of ballots counted showed thousands of more ballots than the total number of voters. The report offered a few simple reasons why this could have happened, but also said it could indicate a counterfeit ballot. County officials say there are many reasons why this could have been the case. One reason is that the system tracks a ballot every time the county receives it. That should be once, I would imagine. But I don't know. In some cases, when the county sends back a ballot to a voter to try to get a signature and then gets it back, the county receives the ballot twice. In any case, county officials say the actual ballot and the votes on it is only counted once. Obviously, they say that because that's the right answer. The county has few ways of ensuring that each voter only votes once, according to the county election director Scott Jarrett. Each voter envelope, for example, has a unique barcode that tracks where a voter's ballot is and what stage it is in. The county system updates as soon as the ballot inside the envelope is processed and counted, which prevents the voter from being able to cast another ballot. Another claim Cyber Ninjas made was that the number of votes cast in the election exceeded the number of voters who participated in the election by more than 1,000. The contractors were looking at the people in certain voter participation file provided by the county. The county said that the file does not include voters who have their information protected, such as law enforcement officers, judges, and others who have their address publicly hidden under court orders, and that makes up for the difference. That didn't really explain much. Did thousands of people vote in multiple counties? That would be horrific if that was the case. Cyber Ninja said it found thousands of voters who potentially voted twice in Arizona. The company came to this conclusion because it found 5,047 voters with the same first, middle, and last name and birth year as people who voted in other counties. Bottom line, the county wrote in a tweet in a response, there are more than 7 million people in Arizona, and yes, some of them share names and birth years. To identify this as a critical issue is laughable. I would like to know. Well, it would depend. I don't have to know. But I think certain people should know exactly what the names are. Because if it's John J. Smith, I understand there's going to be multiple people with that name, with that same birth year, and at that same age. That's a lot of same stuff, though. Right? I would like to know names that aren't so darn common. Are those part of it? Did the county duplicate... Oops. Yeah, did something wrong. Did the county duplicate more ballots than it received? County workers duplicate a ballot when for some reason the ballot won't be accepted by the ballot tabulating machine. This could happen if a ballot is torn or stained with Sharpies or various other reasons. Cyber Ninja says it found the county counted 2,592 more duplicated ballots than it had originally sent to duplication. The county says it was confident that its duplication process was accurate, especially because this was confirmed in a court case challenging the issue that was eventually dismissed. There was a lot of court cases being dismissed, and they weren't being dismissed for good reasons. They were being dismissed for procedural reasons, and I didn't like that at the time. I know that. Was the county's election system connected to the internet? Cotton said he did not have enough information and data from the county to tell whether the county's election management system and voting machines were connected to the internet during the election. Okay, so we don't know. Cotton then proceeded to talk about network connections he saw associated with certain machines, but he said he didn't know exactly what the machines were used for. The county said that one example he gave was a server for the recorder's office website, which is not part of their air-gapped election management system. Although Cotton said he didn't have the information he needed to fully access the county's network, county officials have said that the county provided everything that competent auditors would have needed. In a recent settlement with the county, the Senate will be able to ask questions about the county's routers and network logs and get answers through a special master. Is that like a special session? All right, so that's the official story. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for reading the official narrative. Okay. Whatever happened to the sting operation narrative? You guys remember the watermarking? Yeah. Again, focus as we put on the obvious ballot. Well, I have no idea how to run it correctly, but I'm hoping they did. Trump reports Arizona audit results at a Georgia rally. I guess this is not necessarily this one. I should have got the other one. At a rally in Perry, Georgia on Saturday night, former President Trump exposited on the results of the election audit in Arizona that exposed many examples of evidence of stuff going wrong at a hearing the day before. The number of issues raised by the Arizona audit exceeds the total number of votes President Trump would need to win Arizona by a lot, actually. But it's not saying that every one of them was for Trump, not even by a long shot. The 45th president also noted that the audit had to be turned in while incomplete due to a successful legal campaign waged by the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors to keep control of routers using. They were trying to keep control of the routers used during the presidential election at various points of defiance of a subpoena acknowledged as legal by the state attorney general. There's a lot of fighting going on. All this was found without being given access to the routers, which county officials ruthlessly withheld. They didn't want to give those routers under any circumstance. They had to be fought all the way, President Trump explained. Though they fought the Senate of Arizona, and the governor, Ducey, was horrible. He was missing in action. He was actually against it. That is true. Nonetheless, the auditors discovered that millions of election-related files were deleted during and after the election in violation of federal law, including, and that's by no way am I saying that's fact, YouTube. That's what this guy is saying. I think that there was nothing wrong. Let's see. Yeah, so there was related files were deleted during and after in violation of federal law, including a purge of the election management system software the day before the audit began. Yeah, election management system software. The rewards of an early Trump endorsement were on display Saturday in Georgia when a three-man ticket of candidates he's backing in 2022. Don't really give a shit about the Trump rally. Let me see if I can find one on this. Let's watch this while I do.
Infuriate you, especially the second topic I'm going to touch on. Before I anger everybody, I want to thank Blackout Coffee for sponsoring the channel. It's Monday. It's Monday Morning Grind brought to us by Blackout. And get one free. Use promo code. If you all are in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, I will be there this weekend at the USCCA. If you're there, CCA.com yourself when you start to take care of yourself and others. And I'm kind of excited about back in July. I think it was July 13th to be exact, where a three-judge panel in the Fourth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals down in Virginia, in that case ruled that the federal prohibition or the ban of people 18, 19, and 20 years of age, under 21, can't have handguns. Okay, they can have long guns, they can go to war, they can defend this country overseas, do whatever they're asked at that time. They come home and they can't protect themselves with a handgun. Makes no sense. And a decision came down, like I said, July 13th, 2-1, saying that that was unconstitutional and that people aged 18, 19, and 20 could not be relegated to a second-class status. It was good. It was real good. However, a couple things have happened since then. It's important to note for the anger that's about to come your way that one of the two plaintiffs in that case turned 21 years old before the court rendered its judgment. And the second one, remember this decision came down July 13th. Second one turned 21 July 25th. Does that matter? No, because violating somebody's rights is violating somebody's rights. Point blank. No gray area on that stuff. Well, last week, the same court vacated its own decision because they said these two folks turned 21 years old and therefore they're no longer facing these atrocities of not being able to purchase a firearm to defend themselves. Well, what happened before this? Well, last month, strange, oddly enough, the Joe Biden administration asked the entire Fourth Circuit to reconsider this case, to reconsider allowing 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to exercise their right, their Second Amendment right, a right given to them by the creator of self-defense. The government doesn't tell you when you can defend yourself. But the Biden administration said, you know what, Fourth Circuit, you might want to reconsider that. Now, did that have any bearing in the case being disregarded and vacated and is now moot? Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide. I know what I think, but that case has been vacated and now it is just fodder. So will this go to the Supreme Court? We'll see. But I just wanted you all to know about that because I know a lot of the people in the community, rightfully so, were excited. Hey, you know what? This is a big cog in the wheel of regaining rights that were, whittled away over the last however X amount of decades. So that case is vacated.
Centuries.
Now,
No riddle.
I'm going to show you a clip. It's about 2 minutes long. Please watch the entire thing. Go.
No. Ooh, maybe. Oh. Yeah, I've seen this one. This is old. So she wasn't wearing her mask. He pulled her out of the place in a chokehold and then takes her to the ground. She gets injured. It was last year, I believe.
Running through my bones.
Oh, he was just cleared of doing anything wrong?
Big egos.
Wow.
Patriots, fellow Americans, no. We cannot let our country degrade to the point where Australia...
Here's the thing. That's in Australia, I guess. What is he saying? If we have firearms, we're not going to allow that to happen? Bullshit. That shit happens here. There's plenty of examples of that kind of thing for a mask being done here in America. And we have the Second Amendment. The people that have firearms, did anybody do anything? No. Why? Because they don't know that person, and they're not going to go to jail for anybody else. Yeah, screw that. Not going to happen here as long as we keep the Second Amendment. When resources are put to non-disclosure of information, it's called a clue. Yeah. Well, I want to know why they fought so hard about the servers. I mean, they were saying it was because of, making sure that the people are secret still, that we don't give out people's personal information. All right, I found the story. Maricopa County auditors conclude election should not be, the word. Arizona Senate Judiciary Committee on Friday released a 110-page forensic report on the 2020 election, and the auditors concluded in an 8-page executive summary that the election should not have been, gone through with, and the report results are not reliable. Did I read this one? I don't think I did. Okay, the Arizona Senate Judiciary Committee on Friday. Already read that. Let's see. The Cyber Ninjas, the company that conducted it, identified 57,734 ballots and a conservative estimate that had serious issues. In the 2020 presidential election, the margin of victory was only 10,457 votes, a small fraction of the 57,700 change ballots with known issues. Again, this is almost 6 times the margin of victory. Doesn't necessarily mean that he would have won, because as I said, some of those could have went for Joe Biden for all we know. Cyber Ninjas found numerous types of impermissible votes, but most fell into 3 main categories: improper vote registration, improper votes, and discrepancy in registration. The central errors that Cyber Ninjas revealed mostly stem from bad registration files and mail-in voting, a high-risk practice that Democrats, with help or at least non-residents from some Republicans implemented under the sniffles. Yes, because we can't have in-person voting. I mean, you have to go and do things in person all over the place, but voting should not be one of them. Well, if that's the case, I shouldn't have to go buy a gun at a store. I should be able to order one online and just have it mailed to my house. It's the sniffles, for crying out loud. I don't want to go out and get sick. Why don't we push that? What's up, Anonymous? How you doing? Remember in 1990 to 2000 when gays said they... Yeah. Yep. No, yeah, that goes through a lot of... Yeah. Totally agree with that. New York Times. Thank you. Crazy how things changed. It sure is. Yeah, just talking about that the other day. Saw a woman with an equal tattoo that meant she was part of the old school movement. I know that was off topic. No, you're fine. Yeah, Mark Dice talks about that a lot too. In my own opinion, we are witnessing ex post facto being normalized via the overt psychological training word ruled by opinions of judges. Think hard. Just because a judge says it's not lawful, just because a judge says something is constitutional or not constitutional, just because the Supreme Court said that abortions are constitutionally allowed, doesn't mean it's true. Just means you'll get in trouble if you don't follow their rules. I know it's sick. The second pedophile, yeah, they're working towards it. What is it? Mambla? I don't even. Yeah. All right. Albeit these things are. I never knew the word albeit was one word until I started doing the Union Catch Up. I thought it was 3 different words. You gotta love how they have some authority figure say something is so. Yeah. Thanks for spelling it out. I'm sure that won't trigger anything on my channel. We're going to get a whole bunch of new subscribers coming in, I bet. All right. The central errors that Cyber Ninjas revealed mostly stem from bad registration files. We already read that. The forensic auditors asserted that the United States cannot have a high trusted electoral system and widespread mail-in voting. The report's conclusion calls for the elimination of universal mail-in voting. That's something I can get behind, even if Biden, and I do believe Biden won the election, YouTube. But no matter what, I think that mail-in ballots should be very, very carefully done. For real, you should have to have a signature. You should have to have asked for that prior. If you're in the military, okay. If you're a normal citizen that needs a mail-in ballot, my opinion, but yeah, you should show ID. You should have a lot of checks and balances with that. And it should be very rare. Not just send out a ballot to every single registered voter in the county and maybe they'll return it, maybe they won't. See, that's a slippery slope too, Anonymous. Because we have people in office now that were totally against abortion. Then they were okay for it, for what you're talking about, rape, incest, dangerous stuff to the mother, right? So therefore, it should be legal, but rare and hardly ever used, and difficult and rare, right? Something like that. The problem is it's never been difficult or rare ever since that happened. In fact, they're pushing late term. Oh my God, partial birth abortion. Have you guys ever heard of that? The first time I heard about that was in the late 90s, early 2000s. I had started work for a what do you call it? One of those, you call people up, telemarketing. I'd been working for telemarketing companies. I absolutely hated that job. And then there was another one that I applied for, and that one wasn't selling people stuff. It was trying to get people not only aware of what was going on, but, getting donations to fight it and stuff like that. Was partial birth abortions. And I remember having a hard time saying that word for a long time, but that's where I learned about it. Absolutely disgusting. There's no reason at all an abortion should be that late term. I know we could have these discussions if we could actually sit down and come up with a certain cutoff point, right? At this point, no more. But they'll never do that because they don't want to do that. What's up, Irish? No, I get it. I'm just saying that having any or being, I wouldn't mind if we could have that kind of conversation with both sides or all sides. Let's put all sides and actually come down to some basic rules. I would be okay with that as long as we didn't fucking around with that all the time. But that's not going to happen. So for me, I'm totally against it no matter what. Unfortunately, I hate to say it because at the same time, if my wife was going to possibly die if she carried a baby to term, I would have serious issues with that. But unfortunately, it's a slippery slope. Yeah, it was like 1,000 out of how many million? It's actually millions of abortions every year, and I believe the last time I looked, which was like last year, I think it was right around 1,000 that were medically necessary. Anyway. Let's see. Maricopa County, like many urban areas, abuse the mail-in voting process more heavily than rural counties whose citizens prefer to vote in person. Mail-in ballots accounted for 80% of all votes cast in Maricopa County. What? 80% of all the votes in Maricopa County was done by mail-in ballots. That seems strange. The guarantee of the secret ballot is not only a right that applies to the voter themselves, but it's also the right guaranteed to the rest of those voting in the election that the person's ballot is secret and therefore cannot have come under any undue influence, Cyber Ninja said in the report. Mail-in voting eliminates secrecy in voting, as it is impossible to control or know who a voter shares their ballot with and what is done with it prior to it being mailed in or dropped off, the report continued. The forensic audit found more than 10,000 double votes across county lines, many thousands of voters who moved prior to the election. I don't have a problem with that one as much. Date and voted illegally. Oh, wait. Prior to the election date and voted illegally. More than 17,000 double, triple, or quadruple counted votes, and more than 9,000 more mail-in ballots cast by voters than received them. That's a big number. First of all, that's an important one. If you have, I forget what they said on the other page, but if you have 9,000 more ballots than what you sent out, that's problematic. I think they said that they counted them twice, though. Cyber Ninjas did, not them. On top of the ballot problems, Cyber Ninjas found numerous ways in which Maricopa County could have electronically altered the results or concealed crimes. Cyber Ninjas discovered that Maricopa County had purged the election management system database, deleted election files, and corrupted ballot images. Dr. Shiva, whose company Echo Mail audited the signature verification process through crucially not the signatures themselves, said the ballots appeared photoshopped. And then there was some examples, apparently. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to be done reading this story because it goes on for a while. I don't agree. It should be used as a birth. Oh my God, the morning after pill? Yeah, the morning after pill. Yeah. Most go on unbeknownst to anyone due to herbal abortion. Herbal? Suppose that's a thing. It's actually less, like 1%. Yeah. People think about that more black. Yeah, well, yeah. All you have to do is research the founding of Planned Parenthood and understand a little bit more why that got implemented in the first place. Got to harvest those stem cells and tissue. Well, that goes into a lot of things too. I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that. That's great for the Discord, everybody. Agree. Irish individual choices in line with individual liberty. God judges on the end. Yep. What's up, Bri? How you doing? Right? That's like saying it's okay to murder. Only God can judge. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Murder is not okay. We've allowed it in certain circumstances, even in the criminal justice, right? You got execution. Technically, would that be problematic? I got some Christians who think that thou shalt not kill means that I shouldn't protect myself if I'm being held up. I'm not saying you guys are like that. I'm just saying that's a lot of people's opinions. Right? There's a lot of different opinions on what is okay killing and what is not okay killing. Personally, I try to avoid killing at all costs. I don't want to do it. Never did it. Don't plan on doing it. if I don't, here's the problem. I don't have much sway. Bikes, you don't have much sway. Anonymous, you don't have much sway. Nobody here has a lot of sway. It's not up to us if it's legal or not. Right? It's not up to us to judge these people. We have an opinion on it for sure, but I'm not saying somebody's going to go to hell for something they did. I'm trying real hard not to do that. Even though some parts of me want to do that, I don't. That's up to God and them. Believe it, there's going to be plenty of people who have killed people in heaven. Plenty. So just because you got an abortion doesn't mean you're going to hell. Just because, and I think a lot of people will be surprised. I bet you there's a lot of people in heaven, or at least a few people in heaven nobody thought would be there. You know, we were doing the Patriot Bible chat, and Pastor Lee Vinden had talked about Saddam Hussein. He used the example of Saddam Hussein being in heaven. And, you know, because you don't know what the last moments of anybody is, right? The thief on the cross, he didn't know who Jesus was until he was up on the cross next to the guy. Asked for him to remember him, and he says, you will be in the heaven. That's pretty much it. You have to recognize that Jesus is your Savior, and it's only through him that you can be saved and maintain that relationship until you die. Could be very short. Could be your whole life. There's not a point system. You don't have to get a certain amount of punch cards punched before you're like, got my ticket. All right, DeSantis orders probe into Facebook's election interference. We're getting banned for sure on this one. Good thing I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ordered Secretary of State Laurel M. Lee to investigate Facebook's role in interfering with the state and local races after an investigative report found that the big tech company has a two-tiered censorship policy. Yeah, one for us and one for the people in power or in entertainment. It's no big secret that big tech censors have long enforced their own rules of inconsistency. DeSantis said in a press release, if this new report is true, Facebook has violated Florida law to put its thumb on the scale of numerous state and local races. DeSantis directed Lee to open the investigation in a letter he sent on Monday. Floridians deserve to know how much this corporate titan has influenced our elections, he said. Wall Street Journal learned in a review of Facebook's internal documents that the social media platform keeps a secret white list of well-connected celebrities with left-wing credentials. The elites whose name appear on this list are reportedly not subject to Facebook's content moderation. That's how you can have Snoop Dogg putting a gun to supposed to be President Trump's head and doing that. That's how you have Kathy Griffin holding up a decapitated version of Trump's head and nothing's problematic. You have, I already forgot his name, elders in California who got egged by a lady wearing a monkey mask. Nothing happened there. They don't want it to. Although we might do the same thing if we controlled all that. So, let's see. Facebook's... The elites whose name appear on the list are reportedly not subject to Facebook's content moderation policies or have much more leeway than average users. Facebook's top-ranking officials allegedly created the whitelist without informing the corporation as a whole or the public. Facebook often censors or fact-checks posts made by regular users without cause or for partisan purposes. DeSantis has given Lee's office the power to conduct an investigation by issuing subpoenas, conducting witness interviews, reviewing all available information, and consulting with law enforcement. He warned that Facebook may have given special privileges to incumbent politicians at the expense of challengers, an action that he said will erode the legitimacy of our institutions. The thought of Facebook clandestinely manipulating elections is an affront to the basic principles of our republic. We, the people, have the right to choose our representatives, whether or not Silicon Valley approves. This is hilarious. This brings up something to me. Our republic. I believe it was a video. It was a prepper video that Irish had shared with me. This guy was talking about how it was Chris Cuomo. Actually, he was watching a video of Chris Cuomo talking about people who get the shot. Right? We got to protect the people who have the shot from the people who don't, because apparently the people who don't have the shot are getting the people with the shot sick somehow. Unfortunately, I don't know how that works. Usually, vaccines make it so you don't get sick. Not that you get sick, especially from the people who didn't have the shot. So how that works, I don't know. But anyway, in this news article, Chris Cuomo is referencing that more than 50% of Americans have received the shot. And because it's over 50%, I mean, the other people are putting the people who got the shot at risk, and we should do something about that. I mean, we got a majority here. We should make this a thing. And a majority of people think that it should be mandatory. Okay, a majority of people in America thinking that it should be mandatory doesn't make it mandatory. Do you understand? It's not a democracy. It's a republic. Meaning that just because you can outvote me doesn't mean that my voice doesn't count. And I won't be controlled by you just getting your mob from the cities together and outvoting the country. All right. I'm only going to read a few because I got to get through this quick. Actually, thou shalt not murder, not kill. I believe me, I understand that. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that you could talk. There's a lot of people that I've talked to that I cannot convince the otherwise. It's just how they are. You believe something, right? I believe that I am entitled to self-defense. So therefore, I find verses in the Bible where it shows if you don't have a sword, sell your coat and buy a sword, right? Whole bunch of passages. And it's not technically murder, or it's not kill, it's technically murdering. Yeah, I know that. The last moments of many grunt here. Most don't repent. They call out mom or say, well, I'm not saying it's like right at death. It could be the last few days for all I know. Maybe they're dying slow on your deathbed, right? Let's take Hitler as an example. Before he put the gun to his head, if he did, I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know if we know. Let's say he, decided that he wanted to be a Christian at that moment. And what's your thought about suicide? If somebody commits suicide, what's your thoughts about that? Because I'll tell you what, mine used to be that, you're going to hell, but it has changed. It has changed recently. And that's not for me to judge. It's not. It doesn't really matter. That's a personal decision with the person who's deciding to do that or not, right? Yes, anyone can repent, but they are judged on all actions of life. They're not judged on their actions. They're judged on, are they forgiven for their sins? Because we have all committed enough actions to go to hell. And only through the grace of Jesus are we going to be allowed to go up. And this is becoming a Patriot Bible chat. The Bible, yeah, okay, I'm skipping the Bible stuff. You are entitled to your opinion. Yeah, everybody's got an opinion. I reckon 99 resemble they die, do not fear and love. Yep. Tactical Tony sold my sword and bought a cloak. Ooh, what kind of cloak? $44. Oh, you found me something. That's a cool deal. Too bad I already have a ton of those right now. But check out that link if you need one. You here yet? Who's going where? I ain't going down there. I am going that way, but not that south. It'd be kind of cool, though. It'd definitely be cool. Virginia Democrats nervous over gap closing in governor's race. Okay, who's running with him? Richard Stewart, longtime Republican state senator in Virginia, got 3 days' notice this summer to help pull together a weekday campaign event for Glenn Youngkin, the GOP candidate for governor. To his surprise and delight, some 200 people showed up from across his district, with stretches from Washington exurbs into more rural communities. The crowd was eager to meet Youngkin, the businessman and political newcomer hoping to break a 12-year GOP losing streak in the statewide elections and keep Democratic candidate and former Governor Terry McAuliffe from a second term. In Virginia, I thought it was the blackface Newsom. All right. Moving on. Lindsey Graham hopes that Trump runs again in 2024. Why? I don't think Trump is listening. He might be, Graham said at the Republican conference. I hope President Trump runs again. Graham's comment drew applause from other Republican politicians and activists. Yeah, I'm sure it did. He cited several policies passed by the Trump administration that made the U.S. better, including Trump's immigration policy, the development of the sniffle shot that's working so great. Yeah, don't forget, that is Trump. That's not Biden. Trump can be a handful, Graham said, but I believe there's magic there, he added. All right, so he's sucking on that teat. John Hinckley, y'all know who John Hinckley is. He shot Reagan back, I believe, in 82, has now been freed from court with supervision, I believe, or from court supervision. Federal judge said Monday that John Hinckley Jr., who tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan 4 decades ago, can be freed from all remaining restrictions next year if he continues to follow those rules and remains mentally stable. U.S. District Court Judge Paul L. Friedman in Washington said during a 90-minute court hearing that he'll issue his ruling on the plan this week. Since Hinckley moved to Williamsburg, Virginia from a Washington hospital in 2016, court-imposed restrictions have required doctors and therapists to oversee his psychiatric medication and therapy. Hinckley has been barred from having a gun. He's a free man, but he's being barred from arms. He can't contact Reagan's children, other victims, or their families, or actress Jodie Foster. Yeah, I remember that being because of her, who he's obsessed with in 1981. Friedman said that the Hinckley, now 66, has displayed no symptoms of active mental illness, no violent behavior, and no interest in weapons since 1983, shortly after he had already been arrested, I guess. If he hadn't tried to kill the president, he would have been unconditionally released a long time ago. But everyone is comfortable now after all the studies, all the analysis, and all the interviews, and all the experience with Mr. Hinckley. Freeman said the plan is to release Hinckley from all court supervision in June if all goes well. Well, I tell you what, dude. Irish just shared a great link right there. 80% aluminum lower. Paperweight. What you do with it is on you. But I hear there's got to be some celebrity who don't like Biden. Good news, 1.45 or 1.5 million students leave public schools and are going to homeschooling or charter. Hold up. Just fried up like 20 pounds of bass. Holy crap. Trump need not run again. I ask Trump fans all the time, what are you going to do when Trump can't run again? He can technically run. I don't know if he will or not. I'll have to update you. I'll have to make a phone call tonight. We'll see. I think dude is going to have a cave on his ass. Ooh, you planning the trip bikes? You planning to go see Tony? You driving through Arizona? I read the Quran, Bible books removed from Bible, such as Enoch, studied Sumerians, etc. Got a good grasp on religion. It's based mostly on stories that were told over the adaptation by each society, all based on astronomical events. December 25th, the sun starts to rise again on the horizon, a.k.a. the Son of God rises. Well, yeah, everybody should know that Christmas is not the day that Jesus was actually born. Not even close. It's closer to Passover. Great discussion for another time. Biden administration creates new scheme to end run DACA's illegality. I just clicked on this one because I want to know more about what that word means. The Biden administration on Monday renewed efforts to shield hundreds of thousands of immigrants who came to the United States as young children from deportation, the latest maneuver in a long-running drama over the policy's legality. The proposed regulation attempts to satisfy concerns of a federal judge in Houston who ruled in July that the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program was illegal. It takes on heightened importance as prospects for legislation have dimmed. The U.S. District Judge Andrew Hannon, an appointee of President Bush, said the Obama administration overstepped its authority and did not properly seek feedback when it introduced DACA in 2012. He allowed for renewals to continue but prohibited new enrollments. The Biden administration is appealing. In the meantime, the new rule would solicit public comment to address the issue raised by Hannon. Oh, I'll be commenting on that. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas called again on Monday for Congress to act swiftly to provide the legal status they need and deserve. He said legislation should be enacted through spending negotiations, a tactic that suffered a potentially critical blow this month when the Senate parliamentary prohibited it. The Biden-Harris administration continues to take no action to protect dreamers and recognize their contributions to this country. Using a commonly used term for immigrants who came to the U.S. with their parents as young children, this notice of proposed rulemaking is an important step to achieve that goal. Stephen Yale, a professor of immigration law, practice at Cornell Law School, said the administration's proposal carries no major changes and its effort to bulletproof the existing program from litigation challenges. The 205-page proposal will be published Tuesday in the Federal Register, triggering a 60-day period for public feedback that ensures it is unlikely to take effect for several months. It adheres to the same criteria, which include arriving in the country before age 16, continuously residing in the United States since arrival, and being in the country on June 15, 2012. Since 2012, more than 825,000 immigrants have enrolled in DACA. Yep. I'm glad that they put in there that no new participants. I'm guessing that's why Biden wants to change it. He would like to have a whole bunch of new participants because that's who we're letting in. We're letting in mostly the kids and the women. I don't know how many adult males are getting in. GOP Nunes demands name of scientist behind Sniffle Origins report. Nunes? Yeah, Nunes. House Republicans are demanding that the intelligence officials reveal the identities of scientists behind a recent report on the origins of COVID-19, which downplay the theory that COVID-19 escaped from a Wuhan lab. Wait a minute. We're doing this again? Nunes, the ranking Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, said lawmakers cannot have any confidence in the origins report until they are sure that the scientists behind it did not have a conflict of interest. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence reportedly refused to identify the scientists who were consulted during the investigation. He cited several recent examples in which leading scientists who had dismissed the lab leak theory were found to have financial ties to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. In one instance, Peter Daszak, the head of New York-based EcoHealth Alliance, spearheaded a scientific letter blasting the lab leak theory without disclosing that he helped channel thousands of dollars in U.S. funding to the WIV. Das, who also part of the recent COVID origins report, eventually recusing himself. This is fundamental oversight of the Intelligence Committee's work, he told Fox. We need this information to determine whether there was any selection based in choosing the outside scientists to consult. We also need it to determine whether any of the scientists had conflicts of interest that should affect the weight given their analysis. Yeah, if you have money invested in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, yeah, you probably shouldn't be talking about it. Nunes says there needs to be an entire new report of the origins of the COVID, free of any conflict of interest. Republican members on the committee have basically had enough of this. It just looks like this is another attempt to obfuscate and protect China once again by the Biden administration. Well, I'm sure they have orders of what they're doing. R. Kelly was found guilty of all charges and is going to get life in prison. But guess what? Most likely he'll be able to appeal it. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. We went out for lunch today, and there's TVs with the news on. That's sometimes how I see stuff. And they have two channels on. One's MSNBC and one's Fox. Right, so you kind of get fair and balanced while you're there. And they were both covering this at the same time. I was like, I'm glad if he did it. I have no idea if he did. If he did it, I'm glad he's behind bars. Does it mean that he's going to stay behind bars? Probably not. He might. He's rich, right? He might have an appeal. Maybe he will stay. Mike Tyson thought he would, or not Mike Tyson. Was it Mike Tyson? OJ Simpson. I thought OJ Simpson was going to be in jail for the rest of his life. Nope, he's out. No, to be honest. I'll check it out now. Do you own reading? But I think it was the original Antichrist. Ooh. I missed that conversation. All right, guys, that's where we're going to end it. Thank you very much for being here. I can't believe I actually got that out on time. If this is your first time being here, make sure to check out the descriptions down below. We have a lot of great links down there. All the ways to support the channel, all the causes I believe in, and support with money that I receive, well, that I have. All the ways to, we have some Amazon affiliate links down there of stuff that I've actually bought and used and recommend. I don't know how long those are going to be active because obviously you can only buy so many things if you wanted to in the first place. So most likely it won't be a continuating thing. I'm going to try to figure out a different way to do it. But if you're interested, I got some things that I've bought from there that I recommend. All the places to follow me is a big one. I am going to be changing some stuff up when I get back from my trip. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have the evening catch up over here from now on. And I might make a channel just for it. But I'm gonna redo some stuff on Poison Stinger. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but I think it might go back into doing some gear review because I did like doing gear review. Have a great night. Well, thank you very much, Bikes. I hope you have a great night too, Anonymous American. I hope you have a great night. We can always disagree, man. It don't matter. Yeah, to what it comes down to. What it comes down to is your personal beliefs, what you've taken to heart to study and to focus on. In my opinion, and just in closing, in my opinion, it's all about the relationship you have that changes who you are, that makes you want to be a better person and do less bad things. And I truly believe that that's the key to it. From the research that I've done, which, maybe not as extensive as yours. I might not have read all the same books you have. You probably have a few other ways to go on or to look at things. I focus on what's in the Bible and not what didn't get into the Bible. I understand there's books that didn't get into the Bible. I understand there's a book of Judas, or I think there's a book of Mary, and there's other ones, right? But I also believe that God is all powerful, right? All powerful. And if God is all powerful, I'm pretty sure he put in the Bible that's out there now everything we needed. Just my opinion. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last evening catch up until I get back. However, we might have a couple Patriot Bible chats with Riddle Girl because she's going to be taking over while I'm gone on some of it. I already told her it's up to her when she does it, so you might get an evening catch up. You might not. You will definitely at least get one Patriot Bible chat this Saturday. All right, guys, until I see you next time, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in this world. And try to be okay with difference of opinions. Everybody should. We should always practice that. At the end of the day, man, it's not up to me whether you go to jail. You got to figure out or to hell. You got to figure out what's best for you. We are all trying. Now, if something comes to vote, all of a sudden we're voting on the legality of abortion. We're all going to vote that way. And just because somebody doesn't vote the way I want them to vote, doesn't mean they're going to hell. I don't know. I'm not getting into that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.